Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, NerdModeOn, and I'll be doing my next installment of my Let's Talk About Me series. This is a video series where I have the opportunity and the privilege to tell you guys about key moments within my life, share some stories, and just give you guys some general facts along the way. So with that in mind, for this particular episode, I thought I would bring you guys a different taste to it. Definitely try to let you guys in on what I was doing a few years ago. And for this particular installment, I thought I would talk about some humor and some comedy actions that I produced with a couple of guys quite some years ago. So with that in mind, guys, you guys gotta realize that about 3 years ago, I think we're hitting about that time frame, I used to work at a fast food joint known as McDonald's. I'm sure many of you guys are pretty prevalent to the franchise. I'm sure you guys have definitely had it, and I would not surprise me by any means. But with that in mind, dealing with different customers, different people was something of a daily basis. You occasionally would get the nice guy that would definitely give you some interaction and try to spice up your day, and unfortunately you get the angry soccer mom that was dealing with a few kids along the way and just really didn't want to be there. You could definitely tell that alone. But of course, gender doesn't matter in those circumstances. You would get asshole guys and very nice females from time to time, but the prevalency was pretty negative in most cases. People have the expectancy of at least time to be of their invisible standards. And that's just how this stuff goes. If you guys have worked fast food, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This isn't just McDonald's. It is anything. It can be Burger King. It can be Taco John's. I mean, the list goes on. But realize that people and consumers can be very interesting in those circumstances, and they can lead to some definitely frustrating times. But that's not the subject of the story, is it? So in this particular video, or installment, I'm going to be telling you guys on how I definitely decided to be an asshole to my coworkers. There was a few people there that decided to make a rumor about me, and unfortunately it was completely false, but I think everybody says that. There's always two sides to the coin. There's always the truth, and there's always the lie. And I guess from my point of view, I'm going to go with the truth on this one. I'm going to spread some information across, and hopefully you guys will enjoy, of course. But they decided to definitely construct a rumor. They misheard something, and long story short, it led to quite a bit of people deciding to gang up on me day by day. Nobody ever led to an allocation to be physical, but, most of these people probably wouldn't do anything anyway. Most of them were females, so if they would have hit me anyway, it would have led to some interesting consequences on either side. There would have been some fires and some employment that would have definitely been altered and changed, just because I'm not somebody to get into an allocation where I physically hit back. I would be like, oh, okay, I'll take a few hits, definitely get on the ground and be like, oh no, and then, continue on with my day. Report the issue, get them fired, and then feel pretty awesome, and definitely give a couple of smirks along the way. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. A lot of their notions was, to use words. Words seems to be something that's pretty consistent with teenagers. Most of us don't want to get into a physical encounter just because the outcome is only 50-50. You never know who's going to win. Now, of course, them being them, it probably would have been like, 80% versus my 20%, but I'll still take a 20%. That's pretty good in my case. But anyway, the moral of the story is that, they didn't exactly like me. They didn't care for me. Things were never this way to start out with, but they eventually decided that I was not worthy of their trust, and I had to regain it by doing these crazy maneuvers, and I had to try to avoid them and search through the desert to try to find some water. And with that said and done, of course, I decided to take it upon myself, and I would do little things that I thought were humorous. I enjoyed them a lot. I knew the tricks of McDonald's. I knew exactly how much product and how long it would take to comprise this list. And there was this chick named Mercedes, and she was probably one of the most aggravating people I worked with. She was very just crazy. That's the best word I can think of. Out of all the words in the English language to choose from, I'm going to go with crazy. She was pretty insane. And she had a huge problem with me, and, she would try to play the victim in every circumstance when I would retaliate against her and stuff like that. But anyway, I decided that it would be a good opportunity because I used to know her schedule because, we used to get our schedules out of this little cup. They used to be cut into little strips. And from time to time, when I'm going through the list, I'd check out and see what time she was working so I could plan my assault. And with my assault came some financial instability, but not as much. You're buying product, you're buying food. McDonald's food is cheap as shit anyway, so it really wasn't a negative to be had. But what I decided to do was on her shift, I would walk right in the door and I would order 60 cookies. 60 cookies on her shift, and you're like, well, that doesn't sound that hard. because, you know, usually they have cookies in the front, but I would ask for them all fresh. And if you're unfamiliar, each tray takes approximately, if I'm correct, I think it's 5 minutes. And 5 minutes, you know, you can only fit so many on a tray, and well, you know, I would wait 40 minutes for my cookies to be done. I would have zero problem. I didn't care. You kidding me? If you ever get me in line at a fast food joint, I'm going to be the nicest customer you'll ever have. Because I don't care to wait. I'm just like, whatever. I'll wait 20 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. I just don't care. Waiting's not a problem to me because I've kind of realized, you know, when your food is nice and fresh and hot, it tastes a lot better than when it's cold and flies have touched it. So just take that with a grain of salt next time you're definitely going through fast food joints. But anyway, I decided to order 60 cookies on her shift, and she was pretty angry about that. But she decided to take it a step further to retaliate against me and prove that she's a little crazy in some instances. And she took a C bag. Basically, it's the biggest bag that you get. You know, if you order a lot of food, you know probably what the C bag is. But with that said and done, she decided to take all 60 cookies and throw them into one bag. And, you know, if you're unfamiliar with how the system regularly goes, you're supposed to put 3 cookies per individual baggie, you know, and then you can put them in a big bag and transfer them all out. Well, she decided to skip that, and she told me we didn't have those small bags. Well, you know, at the end of results and how the whole story combines together, my devious plan would end in me getting a refund, them wasting 60 cookies, and, well, believe it or not, there would be some conflicts that would arise later on. But anyway, guys, that's kind of my story. I guess that's how I retaliated against a bitch that I didn't like. And long story short, I guess, definitely go after what you're trying to do. You know, there's different ways to go about it. You don't always have to have everything in a physical way. Being more intelligent than your opponent is always a better option. Being able to construct a plan and know financially how much it's going to cost you can lead to a lot more expressions that you will have never have gotten if you would have hit them. And that's kind of my story. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you've ever done anything crazy like this. I would love to know. But this has been NMO, and I'll see you guys in the next installment. Peace.